Everyone, just wanted to quickly share with you my own personal testimony and how I came to, I guess, choose the Catholic faith and to live my life for Christ, because obviously not everybody starts out that way, right? So if you don't know me yet, my name is Janelle Yazinski, and I grew up in a Catholic home. I'm the fifth of 8 children, so both my parents grew up as Catholic, so obviously we were raised in a Catholic home, going to Mass every Sunday, praying at meals, praying the rosary, during October and May, because October was the month of the Rosary and May was the month of Mary. And my parents were involved in like the Knights of Columbus and doing music and choir and things like that at church. And then obviously as time progressed, I'm going to school and there's different influences and things like that. And I begin to start going astray, especially when I hit high school. And I so deeply want to be accepted, and my peers have such a huge role in my life. And so I do whatever I need to do to be cool and to fit in. And, that includes being part of the popular crowd and having a boyfriend and going to all the parties. And it's weird even talking about it, because I just feel like I'm so far removed from that. Obviously, I haven't been in high school for quite a while. I'm actually 35 years old. 36, I think, or I'm turning 36 right away. Man, it's hard to keep track of how old you are. So when I was in high school, those things were really important to me. And then when I was in grade 11, I had a renewal of my faith. I went on a bus trip. It was kind of to a youth conference out in Ontario. So if you're not aware, I'm from Canada. We went to Ontario to this youth conference, and it was there that I had my very first honest reconciliation, and I came to understand the teachings about the Eucharist. I had no idea that when we receive communion that we're actually receiving Christ, and that the host is actually his body, and that the wine is actually his blood. And I didn't know those things. For some reason, I'm sure my parents told me, but I just never understood that. And so I remember experiencing adoration for the first time, and my life was totally changed from that moment on. So I was 15 at that point. Fast forward a little bit. Obviously, I had some ups and downs, got into university, and it was there that I recommitted my life, because even though I had that initial conversion at the age of 15, got into some mostly relationships, wanting to be accepted by your boyfriend and things like that. I just think back to that time, and it just makes me feel so I just wish I would have known the truth of Christ's love and my identity in him at that point. So I think it would have saved me a lot of hardship. But at the same time, I can use it as a message, right? We can make our mess into a message. So, so in the university, I got involved with a group called Catholic Christian Outreach, which is an on-campus ministry. In the States, I know you guys have something called Focus. Here in Canada, we have CCO, Catholic Christian Outreach, and it was amazing, being part of a faith study. And in that faith study, we were able to recommit our lives to Christ, and they would have little challenges like go to reconciliation or try to make it to a weekday mass and things like that. And I remember really falling in love with my faith at that point and desiring to, attend the sacraments regularly and things like that. From there, I went to a Bible college in Alberta called the John Paul II Bible School, and it was like a spiritual greenhouse for me, a year of faith formation with other people, mostly young people. Some people were older, and they would bring in different speakers to teach about different Catholic topics, and that was totally life-giving for me. From there, I decided to do a year of online ministry with a group called Behold the Lamb Ministries. It's a little bit like NET. However, Behold the Lamb isn't running anymore. And we would travel and we would go and do retreats in schools and parishes for youth groups. And it was such a gift to go into different communities to give witness to Christ and what he had done in our life. And then from there, I also worked with it was kind of like a hub of ministries. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Cat Chat. I worked with them. Also with Janelle Reinhardt. She was a World Youth Day theme song singer back in 2002 for Toronto World Youth Day. And John Conley, so he's a Catholic speaker also. So I worked with them for a year. So I was away from home for 3 years at that point, and then I came back and I went to university to become a teacher. And at the time I was living with my parents, and I also got to know a ministry called Face to Face Ministries. And I started singing with them and going on the road with them, and that's how I met my husband, because my husband is the founder of Face to Face Ministries. And we just got to spend a lot of time together doing ministry together. And over a long period of time, I think it was like 7 years by the time we finally got married. We dated for 2 separate occasions. That's a whole nother story in itself. But we got married in 2009. And now we have 4 children. And we've been married for, it'll be 8 years coming up right away. So yeah, that's kind of my story in a nutshell, but I feel like the faith and fitness component really came into play just 3 years ago. Prior to that, I didn't really have a huge commitment to fitness. You know, I always wanted to be sort of healthy. There was a period of my life where I wasn't. Actually, when I moved away, those 3 years, I gained a lot of weight. I think a lot of my stress I would deal with by eating food, and I loved, you know, toast, cereal, carb foods, you know, and I really didn't care. I just, you know, put on the pounds, and that's what it was. And then my mom was always really into Weight Watchers, so I got into Weight Watchers as well, and that was really great. I loved meeting with the women and you know, hearing their struggles and working together and meeting every week. But obviously now I've got 4 kids. I don't have the time to be going to the meetings as much as I love it, and this has been like so life-giving for me. So basically, after my 3rd baby, I was overweight and feeling lethargic, needing something, needing change, because I just couldn't do what God was calling me to do, feeling the way that I was feeling. I was not feeling good in my skin, and just really didn't have the strength, the physical strength, to take care of 3 small children. Like my oldest, we had 3 and under at the time. So it was really busy, and my husband would travel a lot because he's a Catholic speaker. So I was on my own for a lot of the time. And so my sister, who's also a Team Beachbody coach, introduced me to the Focus T25 program, which is just a 25-minute program. And I thought, well, maybe I could handle that because it's just 25 minutes. And obviously I don't have time to go to the gym. I used to go to like spin classes every once in a while. So I would do these at-home programs. And even that in itself seemed a little overwhelming because I thought my life was so busy. But, you know, the beautiful thing is that immediately I started noticing having a little more energy, a little more, you know, skipping my step, feeling better about myself. And even though I didn't see like immediate results, you know, like you always like do a workout and then you go on the scale and think you're going to like lose weight right away. Okay, doesn't really work that way. Small baby steps over a long period of time, you will see results, right? I've had to learn that many times over. So basically, I lost 30 pounds and felt great, and people were asking me, like, how did you do this? How did you do this? And I would just tell them, you know, I did this program, and I just really enjoy the way that fitness makes me feel. I don't, like, honestly, I don't actually love doing workouts, but I love what it does for me, and I know that in order to be a good disciple of Christ, I need to take care of my body. And that means doing fitness, eating well, being disciplined in those areas of my life. So then I would always just like tell everybody to go see my sister Lisa and say, hey, like, you know, she can hook you up with whatever it is that you want to do. And at the time, like, Beachbody had so many options of workout programs. So, you know, if somebody didn't want to do T25, that's okay. There was different programs out there. And from there, my sister was like, well, why don't you, maybe you'd like to do this. And I remember for myself, it was kind of, there was sort of a moment where I was really afraid to do this. I was a teacher at the time. I was on just on a leave of absence. I was planning on going back that September. And I signed up. I asked my husband and asked him what he thought about it. And he said, yeah, you should give it a shot. And you know what? I am so grateful that the Holy Spirit led me into this direction, because I feel like there is no better job for me. I absolutely love it. I can do it from at home. I can still be with my kids. I don't have to be working outside of the home. I can do it on my own time. It's very flexible, and really, like, my success in this business is really dependent on me. And also, it's not like, okay, you cap out at a certain amount of income. Like, if you want to keep building, you just keep building. It's up to you. it's really in your hands, and obviously all is grace, right? God gives us the grace to do what he wants us to do. So it's always important to discern and to pray and to see if this is really what the Lord is calling you to. And so anyhow, I really felt like God was leading me in this direction. So I kind of jumped in 2 feet. Still had a lot of fears and hesitations, a lot of insecurities. These are all still things that I continue to work through. And so from there, I've been working as a coach at home, part-time. Some days I put in 30 minutes. Some days I put in maybe 4 hours, but on average, I would say probably 2 hours a day. And it's been so, so wonderful. It's held me accountable to my own fitness goals, but also my faith goals. And that's what I absolutely love about this, is that you can tailor make it to what you want it to be. And the fact that I can incorporate my faith into this, that has been huge, because if I couldn't put my faith into this, I wouldn't be doing it, because I feel like the faith component is the biggest component in all of this. We need to always be aiming to become better, how God wants us to become better, right? And so I absolutely love that. And obviously there's like challenges with the name Beachbody, and some of the attire that some of the trainers wear, or maybe some of the other coaches, they go with more of like, let's get a bikini body slant. And I'm not saying it's not necessarily right to do that, but I don't do that myself, just because I'm not really looking to get a bikini body. I just want to be able to fit in my clothes, feel good, and have the energy to take care of my kids and to continue growing this family and to serve God and those around me. That's basically what it is. But obviously the time that I put in has to be worth it for my family, because when I take time away from my kids, I can't just be doing it for fun, right? So I'm going to share a little bit more about that, how to make an income doing this and whatnot. So anyhow, thank you for watching this video right to the end. I appreciate it. And I always love hearing people's testimonies, how they came to know Christ and how they were led to what they're doing now. Okay, so God bless you, and please just comment down when you're done watching this video.